Good morning, COPA Johannesburg. This is Ian Gertenbach, Station Manager, and we are here for our Students of the Day segment. Our Students of the Day, I'm going to start my first question off and ask him who he is and what his discipline is, bro. Who are you?
Well, good morning. It's good to be here. I'm Moses de la Court. I'm a foreign student. Came here for my passion of music, really.
Nice.
Studying bass here at COPA under Graham Curry, one of the greatest.
Legendary Graham Curry.
Legendary Graham Curry.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to be here at COPA.
Okay, well, what do you like most about playing bass? Like, what draws you to bass guitar?
It's always good to prove mainly the guitarists wrong. Because as a bassist, you're basically the only one in the band who knows how important the bass is.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's only the days when you're like, okay, you know what, I'll give them a little lesson to learn, and then you just say, no, I can't make it to practice today, and then they end up hating what it sounds like.
And they realize, oh, well, the pulse is gone.
Yeah.
That heartbeat is gone. No, trust me, as a guitarist and... and before you lump us all in with the same lot, I myself really do appreciate bass players, and I've often wished that I was as good on bass as say someone like Flea, for example. He's always been a very influential musician overall. But anyways, so on that subject, what kind of music really gets your blood pumping, Moses?
Considering I started out as a guitarist.
Okay.
I really liked the whole ballad thing in the beginning, and then moved on to slightly heavier stuff, the rock, alternative rock, and then now, after being at COPA and meeting all my friends here, it's full-on metal.
Oh, so. Good. That's very good to hear. As for those who cannot see us because obviously this is a radio podcast, but both myself and Moses chose this day to be wearing Iron Maiden shirts as well. So we keeping the metal alive here at COPA Radio Joburg. But so at the moment, metal is really getting that blood pumping.
Yep.
And why wouldn't it?
Exactly. I mean, now just beginning of this week, I started learning how to play As I Am. And
fantastic.
Just to see if I could handle the time signatures and all that. And it's just something it really drives you to carry on. Challenge yourself.
Sometimes the simplest stuff can also be the most challenging in terms of tone as well.
Yeah.
So now tell me, Moses, what made you decide to come to COPA specifically to pursue the studies of the bass guitar and everything around it?
Well, quite honestly, I never really considered coming to COPA and learning music in depth. I always did it more of a passion thing and something free time.
Hobby, as always.
Yeah. And then my sister told me about COPA because she used to stay just down the road here.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, why don't you just come to South Africa and enroll there? You can learn some stuff. And I was like, yeah, fine.
Okay.
Sounds good. Just thought give it a shot, and I'd say now it's one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
You would say you're happy, right?
I'm extremely happy here. Yeah.
Very deep question, I know, but I mean, so speaking of happiness, what inspires you to create music, Moses?
It's the best form of communication that I've found.
The universal language.
Yeah. I'm not very good at explaining myself or defending myself in any other way. Or expressing my emotions in that very moment. So music is the best way to do it. You write it down, you put a melody to it, you put a little progressive track to it, and you sing your heart out.
Exactly.
Till the tears drop.
It's a great outlet as well.
Yeah.
All the negative feelings that you might be feeling throughout the day, especially heavy metal. Let me just defend the genre right there. Why do people that listen to electronic music seem aggressive all the time? It's because that music is not addressing the outlet. Okay, they're not getting it out in a healthy way. I'm just joking to all my friends that like EDM. I'm just saying. But anyways, so now in that regard, what is the most important quality you think a musician can have?
The most important quality,
like personality traits, or
I think it's a mixture of things, really. You should understand the market, you could say,
Sure.
or what interests people, and what they can relate to, what you would think they would want to listen to, and all
Sure.
that. So insight, you could say. And then on more personal level,
Yeah.
it would be more of a don't be too cocky
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, like
Now I hear that a lot from many of the students that come in here for the students of today. The most common thing that they say that like the worst trait that a musician could have is arrogance,
yeah,
cockiness. You know,
Yeah.
no one wants to work with someone who thinks he's all that and a
Yeah.
bag of potato chips.
and I've worked with a couple of them.
Oh yeah. You're going to encounter them. That's the sad reality of it. But the trick is how you, as a mature adult,
Handle
deal
it.
with them
Yeah.
and handle it. So now obviously we've said that cockiness is like the worst one that they can have, but and the most important one, what would you say?
Understand the music. Like the worst thing you
Like
can
from a
do.
personal perspective, like one-on-one working with one another kind of thing.
Well, one-on-one in a band, either way, you know, like when you're writing music, I've had so many times where a buddy of mine, who became my drummer,
Yeah.
would just add double bass where it doesn't belong, you know, and the
Yes.
whole song is ruined and whatnot.
Yes.
So understand what is expected of
Yes.
you as your part in the
Yes.
band.
Yes. And specifically, I've always found serving the song
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Giving the song what it needs.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself as a musician what you feel that you need.
Yeah. Like you don't have to challenge yourself all the time.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
sometimes, you know, you could be the greatest drummer in the world.
Exactly.
But then all that's expected of you is a 1-2 beat, you know. So,
Yeah. You better provide that as a
Yeah.
professional.
yeah.
But all right, so moving along on the subject of COPA, now we've been having all sorts of cool industry days and little workshops, and on that kind of note, what would you like to see COPA organize in the future?
Metal Fest.
Metal Fest. I'm 100% with you on that one. I'm going to be biased and admit that. Okay, cool. So now, I know this, especially for a metal fan, it's very difficult to pin it down to just one, but who's one of your favorite metal bands or one of your favorite bands in general? It doesn't even have to be metal.
There's a couple. I would say Asking Alexandria, a lot of people judge me because of it or something, but it's their style, you know, their progression in the music that really
Sure.
catches me. But I'd have to say Parkway Drive,
Okay.
because it's not only the music and their ability to adapt to, you know, to adapt their music,
Okay.
but also their story of how they became a band and
Okay.
what they had to do to make it this big
Oh, wow.
is something, you know.
Okay.
I mean, these guys they didn't have enough money to tour in America. So, well, I mean, their manager didn't want to send them to America. So they said,
Because they're an
Yeah.
Australian band, right? Yeah. If I
so
remember
they're like,
correctly.
nah, it's good. We'll put our money together, buy ourselves plane tickets, hired this beat up old van,
Yeah.
went across America and across Europe and whatnot, and sleeping in the van, under the van, in the bushes.
The whole rags to riches
whole
kind
thing,
of
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
After a gig, they would sleep at people's houses. It was brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, that's here they are now. They're basically world known.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like with songs like Vice Grip and Crushed, I mean, yeah.
And you'd say that song is like one of your favorites of them as well.
My favorite song from them is Home is for the Heartless. Well, between Home is for the Heartless and Carrion.
Okay.
It's just stuff that I've learned how to play. And
Okay. Yeah, that's I
You
always,
just end up
I
shredding
always
to
find
it.
it
It's
puts you
brilliant.
into that next level of appreciation when,
Yeah.
when you've actually learned what the musicians that you revere so much are actually doing to make the sounds that you're hearing.
That's it.
It's a humbling experience
It
as
is.
well. Yeah. All right. So now on the sort of on this topic as well, who are your influences as a musician? Like who would you find that your music is influenced by?
It's gonna sound corny or cheesy as hell, but
that's
I'd have
okay.
to say it's my dad.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Like first instrument I ever played in my life was piano. I wasn't forced into it or anything, but I just saw my dad playing it, and straight away once he got up, I sat down and just started hammering on these keys until eventually I learned how to play something. The first song I ever learned to play, you'd think it was Chopsticks.
Yeah,
It was actually
yeah.
Fure Elise.
Yeah.
And after that, Moonlight Sonata and all that. So you've got this metal guy who started out playing classical piano.
Sure.
But full appreciation to my dad for exposing me to that from such a young age.
Yes, yes.
And then he basically supported me all the way now.
That's excellent. That's excellent. A lot of people aren't fortunate to have that kind of support from their families when it comes to music. But it's always great to hear and see of someone who's really getting that kind of support for this beautiful art form that we call a profession.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And finally, what would you say is the most valuable thing that you have learned as to be a working musician since your time at COPA?
The most valuable thing. Graham teaches you the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, exactly. It takes you on a journey through time and space, man. Where all wisdom is acquired.
Yeah, I mean, okay, with my songwriting now, basically, like, the most I spend my time on is working out chord progressions.
Okay.
Which is also from Graham and from Andrew Massey.
Of course.
And David Yost, actually. They've all given helped me to understand the whole chord progression and all that kind of stuff. And it's helped me a lot in my songwriting.
Okay.
So chord progressions, arpeggios, all that kind of stuff.
Applying theory at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like it's theory has a bigger part than you would actually expect.
Exactly. A lot of people tend to shy away from it because it seems so intimidating and daunting, but in actuality, it binds everything together.
Which is only in music. In real life, it's not so much.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, maybe in some situations, but that's a topic for another day. That brings us to the end of our Students of the Day segment. Moses, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Cool.